With the Fever bringing the ball down the floor, what do you want to continue to see from their offense?
I think just the balance between knocking down threes on the outside and then finding good high percentage looks on the inside. Continue to feed Natasha Howard, Aaliyah Boston, but their offense really started to click there in that second quarter.
Howard, shot clock winding down, won't get a shot off. It's some terrific on-ball defense from Angel Reese.
That looks like imposing your will. That was the halftime message here. Angel Reese gets that quarter for the Sky.
First ever WNBA game at the United Center. And a terrific crowd on hand. Indiana without Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and their head coach Stephanie White, who's out for personal reasons. Austin Kelly filling in as the interim coach for tonight. He's been an assistant for Stephanie White over the last couple of years when she was at Connecticut. And listen, this crowd got here early. You see a mix of jerseys for both teams. It's just the continued growth of this league because of the young core that has really paired well with the established veterans in this league.
Oh, a tough, much-needed bucket for Ariel Atkins, and hopefully that gets her going for Chicago.
Mitchell, a quick trigger, no good. Poked alive by Hull, tippy toes the half-court line. Able to save it. Colson dumps it off, Boston. That'll be knocked out of bounds. Indiana ball with 9 to shoot. How about Atkins getting an early bucket here in the second? And that's going to be a foul off the ball. It's whistled against Atkins, and that is her third foul. So it's been a rather difficult game this evening for Atkins. She was coming off a 26-point performance. And up until the final seconds of the first.
The main perimeter scorer for Chicago. And so thankfully for Chicago, they've gotten sparks from their bench. Beck Allen, Elizabeth Williams. Ariel Atkins got to some of her normal spots in the first half, which is not able to knock down shots, but I'd like to see her start this half continuing to be aggressive, and she's already knocked down one.
Of course, the one free throw, the foul before the ball was inbounded, and now they get it to Mitchell, who has to whip it over to Boston. Colson has an open three, no good, rebound to Reese. She's now got 7. So for the Sky, the half-court offense, we saw it get a little jumbled up. How do they create more space?
First, just ball movement, player movement, running your set. See, I like that there. That's a curl action to get Camila Cardoso the ball. She just took too many steps, but that action, setting a diagonal screen, getting her to curl on one side.
So it's the 13th turnover for Chicago, and you want to impose your will. You also want to clean up some of the things that you can control.
That was number 3 on my notes for halftime adjustments. Limit turnovers. You have to get a shot up every time down the floor.
5 to shoot. Colson trying to dance with Van Lith. Van Lith just stuffs that at the peak and then feeds it down floor to Reese.
Great defense by Van Lith. Really nice anticipation. Here she goes backdoor, but not able to connect with Angel Reese. And I thought Reese might have forced that just a bit. It's a good cut by Haley Van Lith. She's trying to get out and clear space. If it's not wide open, reverse the basketball, run your offense.
Van Lith getting the second half start. Courtney Vandersloot early in this game left with a right knee injury. She has not been told if she's going to return or not, but did not look good as she walked up the court. Couldn't put weight on it. Oh, in the corner. Continues to pour it in. The league's second most efficient three-point shooter.
And more beautiful ball movement, inside-out action. Lexi Hull is lethal from the corners.
She's got 9. Reese this time. Things clear out for her. Blocked by Howard. Sent out of bounds. It'll be Chicago ball with 11 to shoot. 15 points, largest lead of the game for Indiana. The Fever had that opening win against Chicago by 35. Since then, their last 6 games by combined 24 points. Atkins sets her feet for a 3. Reese, offensive rebound. Van Lith, the pop-a shot, rolls it in.
And that is growth and maturity from Angel Reese. Last year, she would have tried to go right back up and maybe have gotten her shot blocked. Instead, she just spin pivots, sees behind her, and dishes it off to Van Lith.
Boston just boxed that in off the miss, and so Aaliyah Boston now with 9 points, 3 of 5 from the field. Here's Nurse fighting through Hull. Cross-court pass to Van Lith. Cardoso works it back out to Nurse, 11 to shoot. Reese this time, size advantage against Hull, draws 2. Nurse has a chance for a triple. Off the front of the rim, Howard claims it. There's Mitchell trying to attack Van Lith. Will slow it down a bit. This time steps right through the heart of the defense and blows by Chicago like the winds off of Lake Michigan. Timeout Sky as Indiana has built a 17-point advantage. So the Fever starting to find
on this team, but what we're seeing is that because there's no ball dominant guard, the ball is actually moving a little bit faster. It's clicking more because everyone is helping each other find their next opportunity.
That's what Lexi Hull said. We had to learn how to create our own opportunities. The offense starts to move a little bit more, and now they're adjusting to that. Reese fights for the ball, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. And credit the Fever defense. And Austin Kelly mentioned we've got to work on our backside defense and our pick and roll coverage. Saw some excellent defensive rotations right there.
Yeah, the help is there. Everyone rotated correctly. You can see the pointing and the communication is on point. And for Chicago, you might just need to go a little bit earlier in the shot clock when you're trying to run that set.
Mitchell for three. Hull scampers over and scoops up the loose rock.
She just wants it more.
Colson flips it back to Boston. Boston rolls in the mid-range jumper, and that's what she's been working on in the offseason.
Her jump shot looks tremendous. Her feel on the short roll versus rolling all the way to the basket looks tremendous. Haley Van Lith, though, said, let me get in here real quick.
The distinction of going to the Elite Eight 5 different times in college. Started at LSU alongside Angel Reese for 1 year, Louisville and TCU this past season. Clutch three-point play to help Chicago dig into this deficit just a little bit. Here's Boston poked away from behind. Shot clock is at 6. Mitchell will have to hurry. Atkins defending, flips a pass back to Howard, launches a three. Oh, the connection to Howard splashes the triple.
Great awareness by the Fever, but that's a mental mistake for Angel Reese. The shot clock is winding down. You got to close out with a hand up. Her hands were down, and Howard knocked it down, and that is a travel.
Reese drags the pivot foot, gives the ball back to Indiana. Indiana now 6 of 14 from beyond the arc for 43%. Chicago gives up a league high 42% from 3. McDonald has to chase down the loose rock. Gets it back from Howard. McDonald poked away by Reese. 5 to shoot. And Indiana will inbound it from an awkward spot on the court.
And that two-man game, pitch and play action, especially with a step-up screen on the wing, is really what the Fever worked on earlier in shoot-around.
Shot clock winding down. Boston has to hoist it up, and that is excellent defense for those final 5 seconds by the Sky. Really used the sideline as an extra defender.
And that might give them just a little momentum they need. Oftentimes, when you're down by a deficit as large as this, you got to break the game up into smaller sections. I like to think stop, score, stop. If you can do that 2 times in a row, you've gone on a little bit of a run, and then you try to build onto that. Chicago just got to take it possession by possession.
You're hoping Atkins can find a little bit more of her role that she's had the last couple of games, and this time it bounces out of bounds. 9 seconds left on the shot clock. Well, let's take a look at the CarMax Never Settle player spotlight. And
talk with Coach Kelly about her, and he said just for Aaliyah's ability, she's been able just to step in and take over the offense in multiple areas, and how she's just got such a great feel for the game. He also told us, and we just saw her try to shoot a 3, that he would like her to do more of that she put in the work this offseason, and they would love to see her knock them down. I know you guys would too.
I love that report, Tiff, because what would make Aaliyah Boston more dangerous than what she is already, shooting 67% from the field, is for her to be able to knock down the 3 consistently. And if you know anything about the bigs that come out of South Carolina, they get better each and every year. I have no doubt that in the next 2 seasons, she'll be knocking down the 3.
Here's McDonald in transition, bodies Banham and picks up the foul. So McDonald has been a value deal right now for the Fever. Coming off the bench, had 5 assists in her last game, and it's a season high for her. And listen, you come in on a hardship deal, you put up 9 points. There are going to be a lot of teams looking for a hardship point guard, because when any of the players, either Cunningham or Clark, come back, they cannot keep McDonald because of salary cap restrictions, and that's just the reality of this league and how you put rosters together sometimes. As we have a foul right now, to the disbelief of the Fever. It's going to be whistled against Mitchell for Chicago. 22-point lead for Indiana at the moment. Van Lit trying to pry free McDonald, glued on her right now. Atkins, contested triple. High rebound, and that's going to trickle out of bounds and be Chicago ball. McDonald just nothing but smiles, because you can play loose and free in this situation when you know, listen, I'm not going to be on this team for the long term right now. I just need to go out there and prove myself to the league at this moment that I can still hoop.
And to be quite honest, with the career that Aari McDonald has had in the W, she's proven. I'm surprised that she is not on someone's roster. But like you said, partner, I don't think that will be the case for long. I think someone else in the league will need to pick up an experienced guard that has a high motor and that blends well in any system. I've seen her play with the Sparks, seen her play with the Fever. You would think right.
WNBA national TV schedule. Tuesday on ESPN, you've got Chicago at New York. Wednesday on CBS Sports Network, Los Angeles takes on Las Vegas. And then Friday, a doubleheader on Ion. Chicago at Atlanta, Dallas at Las Vegas. For more of these games, please go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app. 1 of 2 at the free throw line for Williams. Bonner back into the game for the Fever. Hole just trying to get free, and then she's going to be fouled. She was chasing down the ball, and they're going to get Becca Allen. First foul on Allen. But McDonald, in the way that she's just fit seamlessly into this offense, really stands out. Bonner will line up a 3. Oh, the sky is falling in Chicago. The Fever now lead by 24.
DB had been a little bit quiet.
Williams chases down the miss. Banham look to reset the offense. Mean screen set by Williams. Banham back over to Atkins. Hall intercepts it. 2-on-2 opportunity. McDonald trailing, lines it up. That would have been a backbreaker, but now Atkins a little slow after the...
About the message that they were delivering to their players. I just watched Kia Nurse get up and say to this group, we have to play together. We have no other choice. So she's trying to push this team to rally back.
Williams trying to get them back in there. That shot attempt no good, and a lot of hustle to get the ball back as McDonald zooms down the court. Bonner, another 3 just off the back, and that's going to be a foul off the ball as Dantas was knocked out of bounds.
Better. An opportunity to build chemistry, to fight through adversity. A reminder that they're playing without their point guard and Courtney Vandersloot. So things are already out of whack. And then the Fever aren't letting up.
I was about to say, Kelsey Mitchell's not out of whack right now. She hits the corner 3. Mitchell with 15 points. That's a game high and has really carried the torch. And that is a big-time collision between Bonner and Allen as she crumbles to the floor. Helped up to her feet by Williams. Bonner going to be whistled for the foul of the ball when we come back. Knicks and now Chicago, and we were kind of surprised to hear that because you've got some size, you've got a very smooth jumper. Should be able to find a long-term home here in the W.
For sure. She's a versatile player and really one of those glue players where I think you can insert her in different systems and she still be successful. But it helps the Sky to have that veteran leadership. I think with the Sky, it's just 2 ends of the spectrum, right? There are players who are in their 10th, 11th, and 12th season, and then there are players.
And so the rebound there by Mitchell, she is fouled and sent to the floor. And so Kelsey Mitchell is now in the line. And Tiffany, Kelsey Mitchell, we've talked so much more about her, and we had a great conversation earlier today as well.
We did, and it's good to see her up, hitting down free throws. She told us that she can be the glue stick much as the cornerstone of this team and been through the highs and lows, guys, so they can always lean on Kelsey Mitchell when they need to.
Yeah, 2nd overall pick in 2018 by the Fever in her 7th season, 14th all-time and made 3s, back-to-back all-star appearances, and has really helped this team weather the absence of Caitlin Clark, where they're essentially thriving over the last couple of games. Banham able to pick up the loose change and deposit it.
And for Kelsey Mitchell, the time that she spent in Indiana, up until recently, she didn't have vets. She didn't have a lot of older guards on the team who could teach her the ways of the W. She had to figure it out, is what she told us. But she's thankful this year to have DeWanna Bonner, to have the voice of DeWanna Bonner in her 15th season, be able to lead, to support them. And I just thought it was so awesome to hear someone who's had tremendous success in this league in her 8th year, but is still looking for that veteran leadership to fill the gap.
So Dantas will step to the free throw line and hits the first one. Everyone talked about the depth for Indiana coming into the season. They made such a leap last year, of course, with Caitlin Clark leading the league in assists, setting a single-season assist record. The growth and development of Boston and what she was able to do in her sophomore campaign. And now you add depth and experience around a team that started off 1-8 and then made the playoffs. Many people feel they're in that echelon of teams that can contend for a title, but you also realize there's still some experience that needs to be earned with this roster.
Yeah,
Ryan Winright with the travel.
One of my favorite W writers, Cass Negley for Yahoo Sports, and working with her, and she said recently that in order to win a WNBA championship, you need to experience heartbreak. You need to get close enough to experience the heartbreak to be propelled then to win. And I think all the conversation around the Indiana Fever and the potential of this roster is to win a WNBA championship.
And all the greats have to do that. There's a man that won 6 titles in this building for an NBA team that had to get past an opponent in Detroit, as Howard right there at the rim misses the heartbreaker but follows it up with 2 more. 8.2 seconds left. Chicago will get one more look. Williams brings it down the floor. Tries to usher it past Howard, kicks it out. Allen for 3 at the horn. Bounces out, so Indiana with